to the Geek Easy Fellow Geeks. It is time for another. Oh, let's open a beverage of your choice. First off, it is time for another episode of Frightful Fridays. And considering what time of year it is, I decided to go for a season appropriate movie, which is Christmas Bloody Christmas. It's done on Prime. That's where I found it. It's about an hour 20. R-rated. I think it had like 6 stars, something like that, maybe. Alright, so the basic premise of this movie is pretty simple. An electronic Santa malfunctions and goes on a killing spree in the town. So just think Terminator Santa is basically what we're looking at. So it starts out with a little like a commercial of like the military have been using these robots in combat, and now that this company has bought them and was using the same model for civilian purposes and making Santas. Then it gets another report saying that some of these things have been recalled due to malfunctions. Easy setup. Now you get introduced to this man and a woman. You know, woman owns a record store. The guy works for her. You can tell they're friends, and they've kind of been flirting back and forth with each other. And it's Christmas Eve, and she's about to go out on some date with some guy, and obviously the guy's trying to talk her out of it because he wants to basically take her home and show her some Christmas cheer. And it kind of develops from there. They go to a toy store owned by her friend, and that's where the animatronic Santa Claus is, who happens to malfunction. And things go from there. The first part of the movie, there's nothing really going on, nothing really going on. The action really doesn't start until later on in the movie. The first, say, 45 minutes or so, there's not any, the thing doesn't even come alive until about that point. It's all characters, and these are some really, I like the characters. Those are really well acted out. They're interesting. The dialogue is fun. But then when it comes alive or starts to malfunction and go on its spree, that's when it starts to get kind of interesting. Because in a lot of these movies, you have people just making really stupid choices. Up until late in the third act, in the finale, everyone makes really good choices. They just don't happen, or make the best choices they can. You aren't sitting there going, why the hell would you do something like that? They were good choices. They just didn't happen to work because it's a robot, not a human. And it's really well done. But then the only problem I have with this movie was, in all of these movies, the hero never, not the hero, but the bad guy never dies right away. They'll go down and they're like, people are like, oh, okay, and, then all of a sudden he, sits back up or, whatever, and then it might happen again. This one was just, you couldn't do anything to put this guy down, and it just kept coming and coming and coming to the point where it was just like, okay, this is excessive. This is really, really excessive. I can understand, it is a robot, and, so it would be hard to kill, but it's like, dude, seriously, this is getting a little ludicrous. So it kind of fell apart in the last few minutes of the movie, just because I think they wanted to show how powerful this, robot was, or how much peril the person was in, and they just did too much, and so I found myself going, "Oh, come on, seriously." So they just got a little too over the top. But other than that, I think it was a really good job. Good movie. There's no big names in the movie. You could sort of tell they did it on a low budget, because there were certain shots that they started to cut away. There was a couple of really good kills, but they cut away, and they aren't as elaborate as I'm sure they wanted them to be. So it's like, okay, this is done. The budget wasn't super big, and they're going as far as they can with this, but it was good. The characters were all pretty relatable, except for one cop, but he got what he deserved. So the story was good. The acting was good. Everything was good up until the last couple of minutes of the movie, where they just dragged it out a little too much. So I'm going to give it a 4.25 out of 5, just because, like I said, they dragged the ending out a little bit too much. And say it was worth watching, and if you want a good Christmas holiday themed movie, check it out. Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and enjoy your horror movies.